Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of Vlogmas. I hope that you're all feeling super festive with all these videos. I am just soaking up the atmosphere and the last of the Christmas spirit before we have our own like family time and alone time. It's the 23rd today, so it's officially the Christmas Eve. I'm feeling so festive and I thought it would just be a really nice opportunity to sit with a hot drink. I decided to try out a Costa coffee today because that is the nearest one to Jan's family. So I have gone for the Nutcracker Caramel latte with oat milk. I've just gone for a mini because I've already had 2 coffees today. I woke up super early. I actually set my alarm for 6 o'clock because at 6:30 this morning it was the Gavin and Stacey Christmas special takeover on Radio 1. So from 6:30 to 9:30 there were basically all the cast invited to the Radio 2 studios, which was so fun. We got to listen to them live. I thought Ruth Jones was fantastic, James Corden was fantastic. It was just really festive and honestly so emotional. They played some hit songs from the TV series that if you know, you know. There were some really good classics, and then at the end obviously they weaved in Christmas songs as well, but they weaved in at the very end the Gavin and Stacey intro song, which by that point I'd listened to them all and they were fantastic. I was just so emotional this morning. I was listening whilst I was editing a few things and Jan was next to me studying and I just burst into tears, and bless him, he was like, I just know what you're like. You're so like emotional when it comes to this show and you're so like in that spirit of things. And honestly, I'm the most emotional girl going. Like I will cry at anything, like a film. I cried at Home Alone yesterday, Home Alone 2. I got so emotional as per usual. But I just love this time of year so much, and I really loved the Christmas takeover from Radio 2. I thought it was amazing, and if they did that every year with like a Christmas film or show, it would be so clever. I just loved it so much, and honestly the cast were fantastic. Yeah, I just loved it. I thought it was such a nice way to get into the festive spirit. So good to do it on the 23rd as well, because I feel like either people were travelling over the weekend, because that was like the 21st, 22nd, which was when I travelled, or they were travelling today. So I feel like the roads are really busy today. Like I've noticed a massive difference in Jan's like area where he grew up in Somerset, so it's really busy. We also walked to the local garden centre, which was so close to Jan's house, and we got to see like all the cute little decorations, just kind of last minute festivities. I ended up getting a few things which I'll show you sort of overlay clips of how cute and festive it was. Like it was so cute. We also stopped by at the aquarium that was in the garden centre as well, which was so lovely. But I picked up some Christmas cards. I got 2 packs of these, the Peace and Love at Christmas. These are the Emma Bridgewater cards. I really wanted these as my Christmas card of choice for this Christmas, but I couldn't justify necessarily with all the things that I was spending money on. Guys, can you see how busy it is? There's so many cars behind me, and there's another drive-through in front of me. I feel like everyone is on the road today. But sorry, distracted. I picked up a load of Christmas cards and I wanted them to be my Christmas card for this year. That's what I was saying. I couldn't justify the price. I think it was like £7.99 for 6 cards, but I managed to get 2 packs of 6, so 12 for £8. So I'm feeling really happy about that. Because they were half price, they were obviously reduced, so I was able to get 2, and I thought, do you know what, I typically send around 12 cards every year for Christmas, so I feel like that will cover all bases. That will do my family, some friends, and like Jan's parents and stuff, which is really lovely. So yeah, I just feel like that is a really productive thing to have done. I always find the best deals around this time of year. We were looking at Christmas lights and also at Christmas trees, but we don't know where we're going to be next year. So, well, I feel like we will still be in the flat. Like we've got a 2-year lease on our flat, but you know, you never know in these situations. Like we could end up moving somewhere bigger or smaller, so we just want to take it by play it by ear, take it by, I don't know what I was going to say, but play it by ear. Guys, I am so distracted by how busy it is here. Like I'm just seeing people everywhere. I'm going to take a sip of this because I haven't had any yet. Oh, that is really good. Do you know what? I've noticed their hot drinks, Costa's hot Christmas drinks, are the best. Year round, I won't go to Costa because I really don't like their coffee, especially in an iced latte format. I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is. They don't do the ice to coffee ratio well, and it's just normally all pure milk and just too milky for me, so I tend to steer away from Costa because I just don't ever enjoy it, and I feel like I waste it because it just sits there and I don't drink it. Whereas like Starbucks coffee, I'm gulping that thing down the minute I get it. Whereas this is really, really nice. This is delicious, and I feel like this size is like perfect for me. I wouldn't want to go any bigger. I do love the Costa design as well this Christmas. It's a little snow globe, which is really adorable. I thought we would just do a lovely cozy catch-up vlog because honestly I love filming these videos. They're my favourite to watch and they're my favourite to record for you guys, just because they're so chatty and relaxed, and they're kind of like one-take wonders for me. Like I feel like I can just have a stream of consciousness, and it's a bit like a diary, and I always look back at these videos and just, what was I doing, what was I talking about, little tips and tricks along the way. I feel like I really nailed Christmas gifts this year in terms of like planning and prep. Like I'm fully done. I didn't need to buy any Christmas presents in like the last week or so. I was just getting extra things just to be, you know, extra, but I like to be organized, so I definitely want to start budgeting and planning for Christmas 2025 in January, and I know I'm going to do that and just be really, really like mindful and thoughtful with all my gifts for the following year. It's always how I like to do things, but it works in my favor because I end up having gifts that I can reuse into the new year and into the next year as well. Yeah, in terms of like Christmas as well, tonight we're going to be preparing some dishes for tomorrow. So tomorrow is Christmas Eve, but in Polish culture that is their main day of celebration. So I'm going to be participating in my first Polish Christmas, which has been so lovely. Honestly, we had the most unbelievable cheese board last night. Again, I will insert some clips overlaying of me talking of the cheese board, and we made bread homemade, we made garlic bread homemade, we did like a camembert, we had like loads of picky bits. Also, Jan's parents had recently travelled to Oman, so they had like dates from the Middle East, and it was just like a Middle Eastern meze mixed with like some Polish food and some sweet treats and honey, and it was just like honestly the most amazing spread. I stuffed my face silly because we did end up gymming yesterday, which was so good. We popped to Jan's local gym here and it was empty. It was literally dead. There was like 2 people in there when we walked in, and then they left, and then we literally had this whole gym to ourselves. So we smashed a gym session in like for 2 hours, which I thought was amazing. And I didn't think I was going to get a gym session in before Christmas, but I'm so glad I did. So yeah, yesterday I stuffed myself silly and we watched Home Alone, and it was the best night ever. Like I just love those types of evenings around Christmas where you fully switch off, you unwind and you enjoy the festivities. I just love this time of year so much. Everyone's sat in their cars right now. There's also a man next to me, which when I parked up I was like, shall I move? He kept kind of looking at me a bit strangely because obviously I'm talking to a camera, and I feel like there's 2 generations right now in a Costa car park. Like he is sat with his coffee. I'm gonna try and like talk quietly because he's got the window down, but he's smoking a cigar, and I'm living for the vibes. Yeah, I think he's reading a newspaper as well. Like he's doing his thing, I'm doing mine. I'm just sat in the car vlogging. I mean, this is like the 21st century version of the sit in the car and do nothing. So I also noticed my poor mum is working again on Christmas, and she works all the way up until Christmas. She works really hard. There's so many people out there who work literally to the bone until Christmas Eve, and I don't know how they do it because genuinely it's so much. It is so much. The energy sometimes is really intense, especially in like supermarkets and things. My mum works in a farm shop, so she sent a picture into the family group chat today and she was like, help, like, and she sent a photo and it was crazy. Like I've never seen so many people queuing in that farm shop in my life. Like it's not a massive farm shop, but it was packed. And I feel like this time of year is when I do all the Christmas errands for my family, and because I'm not there for Christmas until Christmas Day, like afternoon, I'm missing all of these things. So normally you would see like me and my dad going and picking up the turkey and getting Christmas groceries, and we'd always go to this farm shop called the Priory Farm Shop. It's near Red Hill. and it is one of the best, if not the best, farm shop. Sorry, Cowdrey, like Cowdrey has its place, trust me, Cowdrey is amazing, but there's something special about the Priory farm shop. I think it's because I've grown up going there my whole life, and we used to go to this Christmas tasting every single Christmas in November, and then you'd place your order for your turkey in November, and then in December you'd pick it up and you'd get all the last minute groceries, like the fresh vegetables and the cheese, and you'd do like all the last minute bits. And like every single Christmas up until last year, me and my dad would run those errands because my mum would always be working and my brothers, in the nicest possible way, would be useless, but like bless them, I love them so much. I feel like they are so much better than me this Christmas though, because they know they haven't got me there, so I think if I was there I would definitely still be doing it. So that's why I'm saying useless. I'm saying useless in like the nicest possible way, but I feel like Christmas is done by women. I'm sorry, I have to say it. Like, don't get me wrong, there's so many men out there, I'm sure, who smash it every year, but I know the women make Christmas, like the cooking and the thoughtful wrapping paper and the Christmas cards. Like I do think it is women that make Christmas so magical, and bless my dad, I love him so much. Like he honestly makes that whole experience so much fun. And last Christmas I vlogged it. I actually like kept up with the whole thing, and I vlogged our whole shopping experience, like going to Waitrose, getting all the groceries, going to the Priory, and I'm so glad I vlogged it because I'm missing out on it this year, and I'm missing out on like all the banter and the road rage and the silliness and the Christmas radio. So I think that's probably why this morning I put the radio on so early, because we would normally be doing all of that and like doing that together. So yeah, I have to say I'm missing that this Christmas, but it's all about new traditions, it's all about change, it's all about embracing what's new and next, and each Christmas is going to be something entirely different. And actually, although I can't stand the guy, Jeremy Vine, I can't stand him, although Jeremy Vine currently was on the radio talking about Christmas and like, would you let someone come round at Christmas if they were unwell, and just like all these little like debates on Christmas, I find so fascinating. I was like listening to what people's opinions were on that, like whether you would tell people not to come or whether you were ill yourself at Christmas. Like, I don't know what I would do in that situation. And there have been Christmases where someone in my family has been unwell, and it just changes the course of everything. Like, it changes the event, it changes how you do things, it changes like who you see. There were a lot of people ill that couldn't make my Christmas open house, and like obviously that's going to change things. So I feel like Christmas, again, is about tradition, but it's also about change and just embracing whatever happens. And there was someone, I can't remember for the life of me what the quote was, but there was a woman earlier today who sent a voice note in about, I think she sent a voice note in or a text into the Gavin and Stacey show about tips for Christmas Day. And I think it was just like, let whatever happens along those lines. It was funnier, but it's so true. I think you just have to roll with the punches, go with the flow, like whatever happens. And to be honest, I couldn't believe it, but Joanna Page, who plays Stacey in Gavin and Stacey, was like, yeah, I don't buy my Christmas turkey until Christmas Eve, which that I was honestly concerned for her. I was like, is that a thing? Like, do people buy their Christmas turkey on Christmas Eve? Like, what if there's nothing left and there's nothing there? But she was like, yeah, I just go, like, there's always a turkey there. Sometimes you just got to embrace that relaxed energy, and like, if in doubt, pour yourself a brandy, make yourself a hot chockey, go get yourself an iced latte or a hot latte, and just embrace it. Like, embrace what Christmas is going to be. If you're stuck in traffic, it is what it is. Turn up the radio, like a few more Christmas songs to listen to in the radio in the car. Do what you can, enjoy all the memories, because honestly, even when things don't work out, like at Christmas, they tend to be a memory still, and there's something that you always reflect on. And it kind of brings me to what I have in my car here, which is a Christmas diary, which I've shown before, but I've got it here, and I'm going to sit a bit later and I'm going to journal this Christmas, because each and every year something different happens, there's change, there's new things, there's new traditions, and I just love to document it. And it would be so boring if every single Christmas it was the same thing over and over. Like, you would be bored. I know I would be. So yeah, this Christmas I'm just embracing a totally new chapter in my life, and who knows what next year will bring. I will really love to look back at this video and just wonder what ifs and think, oh gosh, how much I've changed, or maybe things have changed or not changed, who knows. But I'll watch this video and I'll be happy, I'm sure, at like sitting down and chatting with you all and just having like a candid moment in the car, like the day before Christmas or the day before Christmas Eve. So yeah, I thought we'd do that together. Also, I do want to apologise for the state of my hands. I haven't fake tanned in probably a year. Probably last Christmas was the last time I like put anything on my body, but I put on this Skinny Tan lotion, which actually Skinny Tan is changing its brand name, I think, to Skin and Tan, which is interesting. But I tried their new blush medium glow body lotion, and I thought gradual tan, that'll take a few days. I'll start on the 21st. I put it on the 21st, right before we were due to depart. And I noticed in the car, I was like, oh, it's kind of brewing into a lovely colour. And it is a lovely colour, but it's all in between my fingers. So I need to probably scrub it all off and start again, because I haven't used anything like that in a long time. And I used to use like was it a Nivea one? What was the one that my mum would always use? A Dove one. It was the Dove one that's like a golden colour. That bottle, I would rely on that. I would always steal my mum's, sorry mum, I would always steal my mum's Dove Gradual Tan, and that took like a couple of uses to really build the colour. But this was literally immediate. Like I was in the car driving and maybe I'd had it on for like an hour, 2 hours, and it was pretty much fully developed. Maybe it's a lot for me because I haven't tanned in over a year. Like I've solidly relied on a natural tan to get me by, or just embraced being pale. But I will have to scrub it off after Christmas, because I am on my laser hair removal journey, and you can't have any fake tan on because it interrupts and disrupts the lasers. So that's why I haven't really been using it. And also I was embracing just being my natural colour, but I really was fancying a bit of like, you know, colour confidence when you've got a bit of a golden glow on. And I saw this girl on TikTok who was like talking about her fake tan routine and her schedule, and I was like, oh, do you know what, maybe I'll bring something. And I was just rooting around my little PR package box, and I found the Skin and Tan, or Skinny Tan, Gradual Tanner. So I thought, do you know what, I'll give it a go. I love it. I think it's fantastic. It is the blush colour, but I just need to get better at application, I think, because it's all in between my fingers and looks really dark and awful. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this very random chatty natter, and yeah, I really hope you have a lovely Christmas. I hope it's everything you want and more, and if it isn't, it's just 1 year. There are more years to come, there are more Christmases to come. You'll make it magical, and you never know what can happen in the future, because honestly, last Christmas and the Christmas before, I loved it and I had an amazing time, but I was like upset about being single at Christmas and not having anyone. And this Christmas, I'm suddenly at a boyfriend's Christmas, so anything can happen, things can change in the blink of an eye. Enjoy it, embrace it, celebrate with your loved ones, and I will see you tomorrow for another vlog. Cheers.